That's going to be up for grabs soon if anyone's into bikes. Probably going to be worth about maybe 3.5, 4 grand.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Give me a shout. I'll probably want $50 for him.
He's dreaming.
I think that camo is like $150 for a regrind. I'd probably sell it for $100 because I'm honestly not going to get to it.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Yeah. I was keeping it for an upcoming project. I don't even know what project. I'm selling it. G'day guys, welcome back to the Iron Empire. We are back in the shed to do, this time around, we're going to do a garage sale. I've been trying to do a cleanup, although it may not look like it. I've been trying to finally tidy up this shed and get it back into a usable space over the last few months. It's just been chaos here, and I figured this would be a perfect time to go through and clear a bunch of parts. I'm sick of having parts that I'm either never going to use, or by the time I need them, I probably won't be able to find them anyway. So it's time for a big cleanup. But that will come a little bit later in the video. Before we get to that, I've dug up some old video from the archives of a project I had recently building some welding screens. Now I figured this was handy footage to bring up because I have to finish these screens off today and I have to put them away because they've been in the way for months. So it's time to deal with those, so why not show you guys what I got up to a couple months ago. Righto, so following the last shed upgrade, which was moving the tough lift hoist down one bay, I've been all enthused to get stuck into a few more things that is going to make working in this shed a hell of a lot better. And the first thing I need to do is create some grinding screens, also used when welding. Now, you can buy them. They're not that dear, maybe like 130, 150 bucks. However, I want to utilize some leftover materials I have. I have some clear PVC blind material, which I use to make a bit of an enclosure here to keep one end of the shed warm. And I've got a bit of that left over. I'm not sure exactly how much there is. And I figured these lengths of 25 by 25 mil tube, quality Chinese stuff, it's like $22 a length. I should be able to easily make a screen with one length and have spare. So I figure I've already paid for that, and I got that at a bit of a deal as well. Essentially, I should be able to knock a couple of these screens up for, you know, under 50 bucks and maybe a few hours work. So why not? So the reason I want to do that is that when I'm doing things like working on, you know, any fabrication work on any of the cars, doing the exhaust on the Sandman, which is going to be hopefully happening pretty soon. I don't want to be covering everything else in here in sparks and shit. I have seen the damage even grinding dust can do. I've done a lot of fabrication in the backyard at mum and dad's, and just all the dust settled on my XC Falcon Fairmont I had at the time, and it just left like a hazy rust all over it. Just from settling and then getting rained on. So it is bad shit. So we're going to try and keep that all down while I'm still storing good cars in here. Hopefully eventually down the track we'll have another shed where we can store all our good cars. And this shed can be kept just purely for working on shit. So anyway, what I like to do often when I haven't got a really... when I'm sort of designing as I go, I usually design my, whatever I'm building, often I design it around the size of the product. So for example, this roll here, I think off the top of my head is 1350 wide. So when I made the studs on this temporary wall, I made the studs 1350. I'm gonna do the same thing when it comes to making these screens. I'm gonna make them 1350, top to bottom will be 1350, but I'll raise the screen off the ground a little bit because it doesn't really need to go right to the ground, because most of the time you're grinding not on the floor. So I might make the screen, you know, say this height, 200 mil up, and then I'll have the screen, so there might be 150 mil below it or somewhere around there. And then I will measure how much leftover PVC I have. And if I end up with an even amount, I might just split it in the guts, and that's how wide my screens will become. If I've got copious amounts, then I'll just decide decide on a size, maybe 1500 wide. So I like to make 2 of them so I can have one either side, or if I'm doing a heavy bit of fabrication on one side of the car, I can put 2 next to each other. And then the plan is also to make some, you know, some eyelet hooks on the top where I can then hang them up out of the way. Like I could pick one of the, you know, the rafters that I'm not using or it's out of the way and hang these up. And I want the feet to swivel sideways so it can lay flat against the wall. So that's my plan for today. Yeah, come along for the ride. All right, so after some measurements and some re-evaluation in my head, because I didn't think of everything, standard with what I do, I always design as I go and up and then fix up. But what we've decided to do is basically I've gone with these lengths because they were 6,600 long. I needed to fit them in the ute, so we cut them directly in half. So they're 3,300. We're going to halve them again, which is going to give me 1,650. Plus 25 on either side for the up and down post, which is going to equal out to about a 1,700 wide screen. Now the ones that I've seen online were mostly about 1,800 anyway, so I'm only 100 mil short. The only problem with the ones that I found online as well, that are available from most tool places, they're only 1,800 high, whereas I want to run higher because 1,800 is my head height, and that's like here. So if I'm grinding in here or doing a sill panel, it's going to send it straight over the top, so I don't want sparks flying up. So I'm going to go up to 2 meters, which is going to get me, you know, above the sill panel height into the bottom of the door on most cars. And this is not quite full height on the hoist, but realistically it's about where I'd work. Sometimes you'd go max height, sometimes a bit lower. What that is going to do is give me a bit of a gap below the lowest point of the PVC, but I figure most of my fabrication work is going to be done higher, and if at any point I need it to be lower, I can just fill that in later. I can sort of jig with it as we go, but for now I'm just going to chop these full lengths directly in half, and then I've got a little bit more fine tuning to do with get my heights. I'm trying to basically design it so I'm using every last millimeter of this metal, because there's no point in designing it and then throwing away 6 inches of scrap here and 3 inches of scrap there. I may as well make it all work. So, but I'm bad at maths, so what could go right? All right, so I have worked it out and I have managed to use every last skerrick of metal, except for one which was about 1 inch too long. So maybe that length was longer, but I have cut one worth, because if I go ahead and cut both and I need to make any alterations, I'll be kicking myself. And I often mess these things up. So I'm going to lay this all out now and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, no, I don't like this. I wanted to make it all not square, am I? Like a nice, neat, compact little unit. So when it folds up, it's like that. But the problem with that, it looks nice when it's folded up, but who cares when it's folded up? We need it to be stable. Whereas the feet are going to be down here. I've got to decide if I want the stability of the feet being on the outside or inboard. Alright guys, now here we are a few days later. We have the 2 frames made up. This is the first one I made. The second one is made up over there, and I made a slight alteration at the bottom, which I will show you. It's going to work out way better. I won't be able to finish these today because I still haven't made a trip down to get some fixings in order to fix these feet, so they're still temporarily tacked in place, but I want to move forward with the project, and that includes today getting the PVC clear plastic on. Now, I'm going to do this in a very rough and ready way. We're just going to use some small tech screws. These have got a very flat Phillips head. They're designed for steel stud work, so they sit like flat as. Obviously not the way you'd professionally fit this, but doesn't matter. It's going to work perfectly fine, and it's going to look neat enough. So got the hoist set up at a bench level. This is super handy to use for things like this. Let's just time lapse this, get this all buttoned up, and then we'll finish the legs off another day, but it's going to be good. We can start doing some fab work in here soon. Okay, so the last piece of the puzzle that I haven't finished on these screens is simply mounting the legs to the actual frame. I welded them in place, tacked them in place temporarily, but the long-term plan was to always put a nut and bolt through them so that the legs could be rotated and then easily stored away without taking up much space, so they'd lay flat. To do this job, I'm going to use some of these Rivnuts, or some people may call them nut certs, maybe depending on brand. Basically, it's a rivet with a thread in it. If you haven't seen these are really handy and can really up your game when you're doing custom work. Like, it can make life really easy, yeah, and make it look really pro as well. Instead of having a nut and bolt scenario and shit's loose, or trying to tack a nut on the back of a panel or whatever, you simply insert this, install with a rivet gun, specific rivet gun, and then you've got a thread. So I'm going to do this on the legs of these things, and I'll quickly show you how it works, pack them away, and then we'll start talking about some parts. Okay, so you get your rivet gun, get the cert you want threaded in place. This particular kit comes with like 5 different thread sizes, and pop it in your hole and then squeeze away. And usually pretty much one squeeze will do the trick. It doesn't pop off like a normal rivet, and then you back it out. Bam! You got a pro looking thread that I think I realise now that I may have put in backwards. No, I could not put it in backwards, that's right. No, it's going to be perfect. Now, is this hole going to line up? Beautiful. Alright, so there's my perfect little thingamajig. We thread it in. I'm using some leftover bolts that come with the aircon kit for the Mustang. If you haven't seen that episode, go onto the page and check that out. We've done an electric aircon install on our 65 Mustang. So far, really happy, but tomorrow's going to be 36, so it might be a good opportunity to try it out properly. Now, why is that the wrong length? Alright, that's a job for a later day, but you get the gist of it. Pretend that is shorter slightly and it slips perfectly into that little spot. There's my legs. I'll have them tightened up, and then boom, we stand them up in place. Okay, so we are now going to have a bit of a look around the shed, and yeah, we're going to do a walking, talking garage sale. I'm not prepared at all. We're just going to do this on the fly, so come for a walk. Okay, so like I said, I have been cleaning up. May not look like it. I've got this big long pile of trash through here. When I say trash, it's good stuff, but through this, we'll just show this Yamaha Virago XV250, I think they're called. I built a heap of those back in the day. It's actually one of the things that the Iron Empire started doing was motorbikes. And yeah, this has done a full circle. It started off as a bike I built for someone else, and then it went out into the atmosphere for years, and then it ended up back to me. So this is owned by Josh. He's our polish guru, and he asked me to help him. So I got this thing up and running. I just need to replace one little manifold on it, and then it's good to go. So that's going to be up for grabs soon. If anyone's into bikes, learner approved, cool little chopper bobber thing. Probably going to be worth maybe $3.5, $4 grand. Looking up at my wall here, I'm just thinking straight off the bat, most of this stuff I need for our Bronco, but that up there, we've got a VG bonnet in really good nick. That came on a car that I got years ago, and I don't need it because I got a bonnet on my VG, and it's going to be modified anyway. That one's in really good shape, and yeah, anyone building a VG? 4 years. Over here, I got these, Series 2 or Series 3 AU headlights in really good nick. I bought them for my wagon. They went super dull, look shit house, but honestly, I don't really care. I'll just run a buff over them. They never last that good, so it's always good to get quality, like original ones. They last better. This came off a low K car, so if anyone's doing up an AU, needs some factory headlights, give me a shout. I probably got $50 for them. All right, moving down here, this is where my main workbench sort of is at the moment. I've got a bunch of parts up here. I'm kind of somewhat organized up there. We're going to go through that. I'll show all this to you guys in slow-mo, basically, so you can read of everything that's in there. I'm not going to pull everything out. It's ridiculous. But I'll go through all this, and you can read what's in these boxes. If any of that is of interest to you, you can contact me, and then I will then show you some details of more details of what's in there. So I'll get anyone that has any interest in any of this stuff just to email me. Of course, leave me a comment in the video, what you think of this video in general. But if you actually have a specific question about an inquiry, email mark@theironempire.com.au and we'll go from there. All right, so down here, I actually been sorting this out. This is my wax and grease remover, multi-purpose thinners. So when I'm doing paint work, it's so much easier to get to, and I finally just got myself some cheap car cleaner as well, and I got that on a thing. So I'm super excited to have that set up. Trying to be more organized. My tools. I'm trying to. I've actually claimed that from my dad. Just trying to be organized. We're getting there. I've got two. These are suit rebuild, perfect for someone doing a resto. I know electrical gurus can restore these, and they are sort of a bit of a waste to throw away. But I have no use. I've got a new one on the Sandman. This is what this came off of. It wasn't charging, so that could do with the resto. And a Cleveland one as well. So both factory Bosch alternators, if you're after original one, that to be resorted. They're available as well. I also have two camshafts down here. Both probably useless. One's like a factory 318 one, and the other one is a factory 5 litre out of Andrea's AU Windsor. So one's 318 LA small block Chrysler, and the other is 302 small block Ford Windsor. Both factory. Honestly, they're probably scrap metal, but who knows? I have some other Mopar bits in there. Big block Mopar. I can't remember what's in there. If I can find some photos, I'm not pulling it out now. I'll put them on the screen right now. All right, so moving down to my other bench, this is usually my paint tool bench. I try to keep non-greasy things on there, but at the moment, all that is on there is greasy things. I have a reground 351 or 302 Cleveland camshaft here. Now, I don't know the cam specs. I had this reground from a factory camshaft I think it was like a towing cam, so it has a bit more of a choppy idle, a bit more torque. Probably a good little upgrade for someone with just a street car, maybe someone that wants to do a bit of backyard, work on their own car. Good entry level cam, but definitely a lot better than a stocky. But like I said, I can't remember the cam specs. So if you know how to find out cam specs, measurements, whatever, let me know. Be really interested. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to find out what this actually is. But I think that cam owes me like $150 for a regrind. I'd probably sell it for $100 because I'm honestly not going to get to it. Under these, in here, I've got some 318 small block Chrysler heads. These come off the Dart. I'm not going to unwrap them. They're just greasy factory heads that need a recon. Having said that, they come off a running car and they're fine, but freshen them up. They're complete. Rocker shafts, rocker gear, valve springs, valves, the whole thing. Just unbolted and wrapped up. I've just wrapped them up so I can store them, but I'm not going to use them once again. The 318 build that we're doing for the Dart, I ended up rushing out and I bought some aluminium cylinder heads. So I'm excited to get stuck into that project real soon. If you are chasing some factory heads, got some right there. Power bond harmonic balancer, that's a thing. People chasing a bit of power, 250 crossflow, or actually any Ford 6-cylinder. It's actually dated 1970 to 84. 6-cylinder inline Ford. I can't remember what the deal is with these. It's a lightweight cross balancer or something like that. Came with a build. We're never going to get to it. If you've got an XF or older, maybe a good update for you guys. Don't know what I want for it. Don't know what they're worth. Can't remember. Email me. We'll talk. Moving down here, got a 302 Cleveland. I actually think factory heads. I may actually do something with this. Maybe even with the heads as well, but I'm not sure. But if you have a genuine, they're 30. Okay, this is something good for the Yankees. I doubt many Yankees are watching this, but 302 Cleveland cylinder heads. These are closed chamber Cleveland heads, which have never come out in the States. As far as I know, all 351 Cleveland heads were open chambers. These are closed chamber, meaning a much better compression, more combustion, smaller CC, all that stuff. So American guys love these heads because they can keep the factory look, the nostalgia, the whatever the period, all that sort of stuff. But they're getting closed chamber heads, port these up, and then you got yourself some pretty decent heads. I think that's what I was going to do with this build, but that's another day. I've got a 318 crankshaft come out the Dart. It needs a repair. Is this the one? Yeah, I think it needs a repair. So honestly, it's worth scrap metal. But once again, if someone needs a 318 original crankshaft, it's there. This is for a crossflow. Ford 6-cylinder crossflow redline Talker intake manifold. So this is so you can bolt on a Holly 350 or a Holly, anything 2-barrel. Holly 500. You're chasing some power. It beats putting one of those adapters on your car. That's a pretty good piece. That actually came with my Cortina. That's long gone. So I don't need that. Someone with a 6-cylinder, you need that. More Cleveland things down there. We won't go that deep. Moving down here. This is a 250 crossflow, like an alloy head style crossflow out of like an XF. I don't know what the deal is. It's suit rebuild. It just looks like a good runner. Maybe slap together. Maybe it's a spare motor for you. Whatever. We're never going to use it. Once again, scrap metal prices. Come take it away. It's better in your shed than mine. Hope you can hear me right. All right, go on
What
up
about
top.
that diff thing?
That diff, Andrea just asked me about this diff. Now, the reason I don't want to sell this diff is because this is actually for Andrea.
Oh.
She doesn't know. This is, you do know. This is the UC Tirana diff. We're going to shorten this down. I'm going to shorten it in an upcoming video one day. Had a sandblast it. It's rusting again. I want to shorten this by probably, not much, maybe 20 mil. That way we can get these wheels sitting in a bit better on this UC and get a bit fatter meats on the back. So that's not for sale. Now,
Sit here when you go.
all right, I have a shaved door handle kit. This is for, your hot rod in the car, shaving the door handles. I think it's like solenoid, so you pop it, doors pop open. Custom things. I'm never going to use it. Maybe you will. Air cleaners, probably gonna. I have an aluminium. Sorry, I have a fiberglass shaker up here. You can get new ones now that are proper. They look better. But aluminium one for a cheapie. Someone building a car, they want to put a shaker on it. Want to keep it low buck? I probably will sell that. I was keeping it for an upcoming project. I don't even know what project. I'm selling it. It's just up. Maybe a boat. Look cool on a boat. Maybe I need to buy a boat.
We have a boat.
I've got a TF Cortina grill. This once again was on my TE and made in Taiwan. Okay, that's reproduction. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. TF Cortina. Over here, I have a single solitary XF tower light. It's probably shit. You can have it. In here, I have two brand new reproduction XE tower lights. Same thing. They're not overly expensive new, but I have them here. So if you're in SA, you want them, sling me, buy a t-shirt or something else, I'll give them to you. I'm not going to get it out because it's buried too deep, but I have a grill here for an FCFD LTD, the same as my LTD here. I think it came with the car. Maybe I bought a bonnet for it or something. Anyway, I'm not going to get it. It's there. It's in really good nick. You got an LTD? I got your grill. Now I might get in trouble for this one because someone wanted this a little while back and I never got back to them. I can't remember why, but here we are. I have two XA, XB, maybe XC consoles. ABC console. I only need one of them now. I did need two for a long time, but that's actually why I never sold it. But now I only need one. I've got brown and I've got the tan or saddle. And I'm not going to use either of them in that color. I'm going to paint it black because I got a black interior. So I don't care which one it is. Either one of those is available. Brown, saddle. You're doing it XABC. That might help you. Okay, so this is meant to be my merch corner. It's a little bit of a mess at the moment, but we're going to go through a little bit of that as well. I'm probably going to get rid of a little bit of odds and ends. So we'll get that sorted soon in this video. But for right now, what I can see is that I have a set of brand spanking new Torana. Can't remember what they're called. They're Torana wheels. I can't remember what they're called. I'll put it on the screen right here when I work it out. I'm pretty sure they're available in 14.6s and 14.7s. So this is going to be your early model, LC, LJ. I'm not a Torana guy. Early stuff, spot on replicas, but with a wider dish on the back. Anyone build one of those? I've got to sit here for you. I think they're like wheels, nuts, caps, complete, like $1,500. Let's put it that way.
What are these seats?
These seats, yes. These are the seats I wanted to show you. So these seats actually came out of the Sandman, the wannabe Sandman. They're in really good shape. They're called, don't know, they're not called anything. They're called WB seats, but they are the like early Commodore era, because obviously the WB was in the Commodore era. They're in really good shape. They need obviously a shampoo and a clean up, but they are mint in colour and condition. They do come with rails. I've got a feeling something to do with rails I was going to keep or something, but bottom line is the seats that I'm putting in the Sandman, which are the earlier model like HJ seats, I had to modify the brackets anyway, so they have a different floor. Anyway, you got WB, whatever, Commodore, they're the seats for you. I actually don't think there's anything out there I want to sell. I'll probably sell that motorbike. Does anyone want that motorbike?
You wanted.
Yeah, I did, but I don't use it. It's like a cheap Paramount Browns. No, $300. It's pretty cool. Good for kids, but I don't use it, so I might as well sell it. Maybe a walking traffic light. No, I'll put that as much to do.
What about this seat here?
Nah, that seat's going to go in an XG. Going to paint it grey and it's going to go in XG. Now we're going to do another video soon with a walk around of some of the cars that we're going to sell, because I'm pretty much going to put everything on the market.
Not my cars.
We're cashing in.
Not my cars.
Sabatrana. But yeah, that'll be another day. Once we've sort of worked out exactly what we are going to sell and what we need for them, we'll do another walk around video soon. But that's it for now. Actually, I do have a container to go through, but baby steps. Anyone want any stuff? Give me a shout out. Leave a comment. Email me, mark@theonempire.com.au, and we'll get it sorted. Okay, so I've just done a bit of a scrounge through the merch pile there, and somewhat organised, mostly not. But I'm just trying to tidy up a few loose ends. Now, these are the one-offs that are left, so I'm going to bang them up on the store, which I'll put in the description right here. Super cheap. So we've got the sleeveless with the trucking, the little judge in the back there. It's an old school one we had going for a while. That is the last one of those available, and it is in a small. On a side note, anyone that's asking me about sleeveless tees, all of my range are available in sleeveless. All you got to do is cut the sleeves off yourself, because that's all I do. So I get quite a few people asking me about that, and that is the trick. This wheel tee, I actually love this, and I'm going to do a reprint soon, but with Empire. This is back when we were doing some wheels, and we call it Iron Industries. So it's available with Iron Industries on the front and the big ass smoothie on the back. That's a single one-off only. This was put aside and never claimed. XL. That's in AS colour. Both of those have been AS colour so far. Now, this is a jacket, the last of it. Bad time of year for buying jackets, but it's the last one. I actually love these things. They get dusty. Black on black with the Iron Empire on the front. And this is a nice, warm winter jumper jacket. Zip up, closed in hoodie. And I actually have one of these in camo green. But the only one that I have available is this one in black. And it is a large. So they're not the biggest large. So you wouldn't be much bigger than me. Me or small. Now, while we're on the topic of merch, bear in mind there are still plenty of Doom sleds still available. Amazing shirt, if I don't say so myself. I love that thing. They are still available on the store. The Judge, absolute classic and an absolute favourite. There are still those available in store with the Judge, which of course is a Pontiac GTO logo. Might get one of those on the channel sometime before I'm dead. And if you want to see this rerun, type Hurst in the comments right now for the Iron Empire Hurst t-shirt to make a return. Now, there are a few of these still available in the store, but only very limited numbers. So either go to the store, grab one, preferably without the Winnie hairs on it. If not, type Hurst in the comments right now, and we'll look at doing a rerun of those real soon. Okay, so that is going to be it for this episode. A bit of a different one. We might do a few of these in the, moving forward, keeping people a bit more updated, and also helps me clear some stuff. Maybe it helps you guys at home with some of your projects. That's it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the rest of it, and we'll see you all on an upcoming episode. Cheers, guys.